Here is the most dangerous lie you have ever told yourself at work. I will just push through. I will just take on more. I will put everyone else first, and somehow it will all work out. But here is what nobody tells you about that approach. It is slowly destroying your career, your relationships, and possibly your health. And the craziest part? The people around you are not even benefiting from your self-sacrifice the way you think they are. Today, I'm going to show you why ignoring your own needs is not noble, and how learning to prioritize yourself can make you more valuable to everyone around you. Let me tell you about someone who described herself as an Energizer battery in a meat suit. She was an office manager at a busy medical practice, holding herself to impossibly high standards, coming in on days off, picking up everyone else's slack. Sounds like the perfect employee, right? Wrong. Her boss actually had to hire someone to help her because all that self-sacrifice had turned into crushing stress and serious anger problems at work. She was snapping at colleagues and creating tension with the very people she was trying to help. Here's the fascinating part. No one was actually asking her to work this hard. Her teammates were not holding her to those impossible expectations. She was doing it all to herself. Yet another example of how being needless ultimately does not benefit the people around you. And this is where it gets important. Every time you ignore one of your needs, you give away a piece of yourself. Keep doing that, and eventually there is nothing left. You become exhausted, resentful, and honestly, not very pleasant to be around. Now here's where most people get stuck. They cannot even identify what their needs are. One person I worked with said recognizing his needs always started with a feeling that something was off. He would notice he was agitated or upset, then dig underneath that emotion to find what was really going on. Maybe he felt disrespected in a conversation. Recognizing that helped him see that respect was something he genuinely needed. This is the game changer. Without a connection to your feelings, you cannot identify your needs. And here is the problem. Most of us have been trained to suppress our emotions at work. We adapt to what is expected and automatically push down anything that might seem unprofessional. But your emotions are actually signposts pointing you toward what you truly need. Even when people can identify their needs, they often struggle to actually prioritize them. Maybe you think something bad will happen if you speak up, like people will see you as lazy if you take a real lunch break. Or maybe you believe there is a reward waiting if you just push a little harder, take on a little more, sacrifice just one more weekend. Let me share a concept that transforms how people think about this. Most of us operate as if there is only one reality in any situation. Your boss says they need a project done early. Suddenly their reality becomes the only reality. Your plans, your commitments, your needs, they just disappear. But there are always at least two realities. Your boss has a need for the project sooner. You have a need to be present for something important. One reality does not cancel out the other. Both are valid. When you believe there is only one reality, you are left with two options: comply or defy. Complying means squashing your own needs. Defying means fighting and hoping you do not face consequences. Neither acknowledges that your reality matters. Here's what changes everything. When you recognize multiple realities exist, you can stop fighting to prove yours is right. You can simply state what is true for you and ask for it to be considered. Something like, I know the timeline is tight, but I am not going to be able to make that work. What can we figure out together? That is not demanding. It is not apologizing. It is just honest. There is another piece most people miss completely. It has to do with how you see yourself in relation to others. When you constantly put other people's needs above your own, you are essentially saying you are worth less than them. When you bulldoze over others to get what you want, you are saying you are worth more. Neither position leads anywhere good. The sweet spot is equal ground. Your needs are not more important than theirs, but they are also not less important. They exist alongside each other. Notice what it feels like in your body when you feel less than someone. Maybe you feel small or powerless. Now notice what better than feels like. Maybe you puff up or feel armored. Now find equal ground. Maybe your spine straightens, your feet feel solid, you feel firm but also open. That physical sensation is your anchor when you need to express something important. Now let us talk about actually expressing your needs. There's probably a voice in your head saying things like, "You do not get to ask for that," or "That would be selfish." I have that voice too, and here's what I have learned. It thinks it knows what will happen, but it is almost always wrong. So how do you do it? First, what not to do. Do not be apologetic or meek. Do not over-explain or pack your request with justifications. But also, do not make demands. Instead, share what is true for you while acknowledging their reality too. Something like, "I am going to need focused time this afternoon. I know that might be inconvenient, but I will be available after 3. Simple, clear, not selfish. And after you make a request, check in. Ask what that was like for them. People want to be considered, and when you show that you care about their experience, expressing your needs actually builds trust. Now I have to be honest with you. Even when you get good at this, not every need will be met. That is just reality. But here is what matters. Were you at least considered? Did you feel seen and respected? Even if the answer was no. There is a big difference between occasionally not getting what you need and consistently feeling invisible or even punished for having needs at all. Here's what I want you to take away. Being the person who has no needs is not a badge of honor. It is a recipe for burnout and resentment. When you respect your needs, you have more energy, more clarity, more generosity to offer. You show up as a whole person instead of a depleted version running on fumes. Recognizing, respecting, and expressing your needs is not selfish. It is relational. It honors the truth that we are all interdependent humans who need things from each other and from ourselves. Start by noticing what you feel. Dig underneath to find the need. Remember that your reality exists alongside everyone else's. Find equal ground in your body. Then ask clearly for what you need while considering the other person too. That is how you stop giving pieces of yourself away. That is how you show up whole. And honestly, that is how you become someone who can actually help others. Because you have something left